Hey there, Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I'm going to cover today for you the energy of the moon over the course of the next 2 weeks. So we have July 6th through the 12th, and then we have July 13th through the 19th. I will timestamp for that. I would like to invite you to please leave me a thumbs up, because it always lets me know that you appreciate my energy and my time. And then I want to encourage you to leave me a comment, even if it's just an emoji. That way I have your name, so that when I am looking at doing the mid-month, mid-season of Leo, which will come out the 1st of August, I pull a card at the end of each sign for, okay. And I pull for a personal reading, a personal message for you. And so if you want to be in the drawings, I need your name. Okay, so here, this is really super interesting. The card that came out for your overall energy was the Hanged Man. I really love this Hanged Man because they have their hand a little bit in the emotional waters. The light is shining, so tapping into your emotions is a way to tap into your intuition, which is where the guidance and the information is coming from. And so I wanted a little guidance on what it was, and then we got the Seven of Pentacles, which is, again, it's the waiting. So Libra, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for something to grow. You're waiting for inspiration. You're waiting for information. You're waiting for what feels right. I just want to say, though, there's a lot of roots there. And just because you can't see a lot of growth happening doesn't mean that it's not happening. I feel like it is happening. You just can't necessarily see it as it's happening, maybe. All right, so let's give a quick overview of what's going on this week. The energy, we've got Mars is squaring off with Mercury. Okay, so Mars is in Aries. Mercury is in Cancer. When they square off, that is like very road ragey, people word vomiting emotionally what it is that they're thinking and feeling. It also can be the energy, though, that allows you to finally stand up for yourself and say what you need to say. And so I want to encourage you to speak your truth and be authentically who you are. But be aware that there's a lot of high emotional energy running this week. And then on top of that, we've got all those planets still up in Capricorn, still in opposition with the Sun and Mercury. And so there is still this and in a square to Mars. And so it's still tense. It is. There was a big release that came with that eclipse. I'm going to do a video next week for everyone about the eclipse energy and how you can best utilize it moving forward. But you have some lovely energy this week for getting you on the path and getting you going in that direction. So we start out with the moon in Aquarius, which is in your fellow air sign at your 5th house. So this is that creative energy. This is, the child energy, the family, the romance, the fun. And you have manifesting miracles, and you have peace and harmony. So Archangel Raguel, however you say that, and Archangel Orion. So when I see this, I see the day and the night. I see the need for balance, right? So there's this need to do this little self-reflection where we pull our heads out of the emotional waters, which is really hard right now with everything in Cancer. And doing the self-reflecting and looking for the shadow in the light, but the light in the shadow, right? Bringing your life back into harmony and balance by finding what is joyful and what is pleasurable in your life and really noticing it. And I feel like you're waiting on something here, clearly, but it might be a perspective change. We had all this stuff happen, and so looking at it differently, seeing it from a different vantage point, finding the beauty in the moment will help you to bring things into balance. On Wednesday at 12:13 in the afternoon, so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the moon is in Pisces, and there's this real need to find the balance, to look for the beauty in the moment. And so I think you're getting a lot of support this week on that. And remembering that you are resilient, that what you cut out of your life, when you cut back the growth on something, it promotes growth. So if you're sitting here waiting for something to grow, what can you trim off in order to promote the growth? Like, what are you carrying? So all those eclipse energies were about releasing things that do not work so that we can have the things that we really want. And so a couple of things that I was really being encouraged to share with everybody is asking for what you want. Like, be specific. We're in new energy cycle, big new energy cycle. And so being clear about what you want, asking, because they can't help unless you do, asking your spirit team to help you, and then letting go of how and when, because right now, everything is shifting. There's like, okay, no way that anybody can tell you how and when. So there is a need to use your discernment. I'm laughing because I really don't want all these cards, but I keep getting them. So the mermaids have a lot to say. So discernment, but go with the flow. If you can realize what you need to let go of. Okay, so I just saw clinging to the branch on the shoreline of a river that's all swollen. There's a story behind that, but we'll save that for another time. If you let go of that, you'll be in flow with the river. So discerning what to hang on to and what to release so that you can be in flow. We're breaking free. Yeah, it's like being stuck. It's like being stuck in the branches, right? And the river's flowing by, and you're like the leaf that's kind of stuck there, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to get things moving. And if you can break free, if you can let go, then you will be re-energized as you are in flow with spirit. So rest when you need to rest. Eat the best way that you can. Hydration feels really important, so make sure you're getting plenty of fresh air and fresh water, and that you're walking, and that you're doing the healthy things for yourself that are nurturing and full of self-care while you're waiting to break free from whatever's got you pushed up against this branch. But you're breaking free so that you can go with the flow. So are you hanging on to something unnecessarily? And if you can release it, if you can let it go, then you can be in flow and you can promote the growth in the direction that you want to go in. And so there's a need to allow a discernment process of what has happened over the last 8 weeks in particular, because of all the eclipses. What was brought up, what was triggered, what needs to be healed. Communication. You have communication. Be proud of what you have achieved through empathy and articulation. Use the powers of communication to win others over. Your voice will be heard because you command attention. Apply your creativity to the job at hand. There is wisdom to be gained from all the information that you've had coming toward you. Communication. Mercury is going to go direct on the 12th, right? And so this communication is really important, but again, it's in a really difficult aspect with Mars. And so people will be, a little testy. Finding the right words feels really important. So finding the right moment. Being willing to wait for the right opportunity, but speaking the truth. Being your authentic self. Setting yourself free. So I think that this energy of Mars squaring off with Mercury is an opportunity for you to actually, like, you're one of the signs that are really going to have the opportunity to benefit from that. So, all right, we're going to move on to the second week, which is July 13th through the 19th. The moon's going to be in Taurus at 1:34 in the afternoon on Monday. Using Sunday and Monday, the 12th and the 13th, to really count your blessings. And a really great way to do it is to literally write them down. When you start writing things down, you start channeling things from spirit. But I think that for you, counting your blessings, because Taurus for you is your 8th house of transformation. And so being grateful for where you are and the transformation that is occurring for you, not to you, if you can really view it that way, then you get to tap into that energy of manifestation. The Seven of Pentacles is Taurus energy. And so it's the waiting patiently for things to grow, nurturing it, trimming back the dead things, putting in the right amount of fertilizer, the right whatever nutrients, water, air, whatever it needs, right? And so patiently waiting, but being grateful for the opportunity and the knowledge and the wisdom that's been gained to know how to do that. So understand that you are being protected through this process, but there is a release that needs to happen. You need to break free from whatever's got you attached to the bank so that you can get into the flow with spirit, right? So there's something that needs to happen here. Again, this week, the energy, okay? It heads up. People are tense. But I think that there was a big release that happened with that eclipse. And so it should be manageable. We do have Chiron that is also gone retrograde. It did that on the 11th. And so Chiron's the deep wounds that we carry. And with it in retrograde, that means that all the stuff that was stirred up during the eclipse season is being brought up, that was brought up, triggered. And so now here's your opportunity to kind of look at that, to heal that. So that is something that may be going on this week too. But you have recognized your significance. Archangel Gabriel. Throat chakra. Recognize your significance. You're going to have to speak up. There is something that you need to say to someone about something that is important. Recognize your significance. You are an important contributing member of something. You have thoughts and feelings that also matter. You have hopes, wishes, goals, and dreams that are important to you. And if you've been trying to wait out the situation, I think that the movement is going to have to come from you. You're going to have to step forward. You're going to have to push through the resistance of wanting to not create drama. Surrender to the divine timing that is being offered to you right now to speak up, to say what it is that you want to say. Because, okay, so you have, yeah. Speak from the heart. Speak with authenticity. Choose your words carefully, as Libra usually do. But don't soft pedal it. Don't try to make it. Oh, okay. So I don't know if you've done this, but I'm going to go with probably. But I know that. Okay, so my Mercury is in Cancer, and Cancer is represented by the crab that likes to kind of go sideways at things. And so I'd be like, I would accept blame for something in a way, and when I was talking to someone, trying to get them to change their ways, and what would end up happening was they didn't recognize that I was trying to get them to change their ways. They just thought, oh, you messed that up. So being really authentic and more direct would have been beneficial, and I feel like that's what you need to do. Not say things where you accept blame that isn't yours. There is a way to ask for what you want, which is not accusing anyone of anything, right? So it's like, I would appreciate it if we could do this. I did all of this, and it would have really made me feel good to know that you recognize that I did it. Or, so I do all this hard work, and I've been here working, and I feel I earned a raise. And this is why I earned a raise. Here's what I've accomplished. Here's what you can expect from me. Here's what you can depend on from me. Or you go into a job interview and you're like, but I am worthy of this job because. Why is job coming up? Because we're in your 10th house of career. Okay, so that makes sense. All right, I'm like, why am I talking about job? But that's all I'm seeing is stuff. So I feel like you're communicating with higher ups, recognizing your value. But you have to recognize it first, and you have to be willing to promote yourself. You have to be willing to speak up. You have to be willing to say. So this breaking free feels like this breaking free from like hiding in the shadows, but instead allow your light to shine, to bring future abundance, financial reward to yourself. So you have reevaluate your priorities. It's time to let go of what you no longer need. You have the wisdom and the messages of the divine are within you. And it's time, the time is ripe for creation and connection. Focus your attention on these areas. So, 9th house. What do you need to learn? What long-held beliefs no longer serve you? What can you study more? What have you studied that has increased your value to yourself and to those at work? What knowledge and information can you gain? And also, 9th house is always about connection with spirit too. So really listening to your intuition. On Saturday, the moon is going to move into Cancer at 10:24 p.m. That's when we're now in that career house. But the sun is there this month, so there's a lot of emphasis for you this month on career. And Saturn is now back in Capricorn, also rules the career house. So there's just there's a lot of emphasis, I think, for you on where you're going with all that. And there's a need to really push through that energy of resisting either change or standing up and speaking or going after what you want. Is there an opportunity that you really want, and how can you package yourself up so that you can sell it to get what you want? Okay, so you have diving to new depths. There is a deeper meaning to what is happening. You might be looking at this from the surface and missing what is really going on. It's a perspective change is definitely necessary here. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Allow yourself to dive deeper into what you are feeling about your current situation. So how do you feel about it? And what do you really want? And write it down. Because when we write, we channel. And I think it's a really great opportunity for you to really channel your higher self, to really dig in, to find out what it is that you need. You have changed direction with ease. That's that getting into flow. That's that letting go of the bank and letting yourself out into the river. This is a time for change, shape-shifting, or your soul's evolution. It is time to reconsider what you are wanting. You may be in for a surprise. Do that deep dive with yourself, but what do you really want? Have you been doing the same thing for so long and you're like, feel like you're banging your head against the wall? And what are you worth to yourself? And what do you want? And so the energies of the world has shifted and changed. And so where do you want your new energy to be? And then you have rediscovering your zeal. Pay attention to the passion you are feeling for discovering, learning, exploration, or spirituality. They're talking about your 9th house. So in the middle of the week, when you're reevaluating, when you're looking at things, when you're pushing through that resistance that you're feeling in order to launch yourself into the new beginning, because next week we have a new moon in Cancer, and the next day the sun moves into Leo. And so we have this new moon energy into the sun shining and the I am feeling and this power of really moving forward. And so you have a new moon in your 10th house of career happening with energy coming right behind it to push you forward. So what are you passionate about? What do you care about? What do you want to create? Where do you want to go? So this is the time to ask for what you want of yourself, of spirit, but not necessarily worry about how, not necessarily worry about when, because honest to God, with the way the energies are moving around, I don't know how anyone can predict that far down the road, but you can ask for what you want. You can discover what it is you need to learn. What do you need to know to take it to the next step? Those would be like a first step that you could really do. So pay attention to the passion you're feeling for discovery, learning, exploration, spirituality, travel, your work, or your relationships. Passion and desire go together, especially as an inspiration. What do you want? It's important. What feels good? What are you excited about? Be excited. Be excited. Choose to follow your dreams. Because right now, the energy you're setting up, you get to live in for a long time. So why not go for the thing you really, really want, right? Why not now? So I lean into my world of limitless miracles. Whoops, I have it upside down. I lean into my inner world of limitless miracles, surrendering to the divine will of the cosmos. I lean into the inner world of limitless miracles. What do you really, really want? And then surrender the timing, surrender the path. Just get in flow and see where the current of the river carries you, the leaf, as you go. It's exciting times. What do you really want? Now's the time to ask for it. It's like we all have a great big birthday cake and we get to blow out and make our wishes. What do you want? Okay? All right. I will see you guys next week. You take care. Be sure to leave me a comment so you can be in the drawing. And we'll chat soon.